Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. Have I got something to show you? I've been asked a few times now about doing people's cars from restoring them and whatnot. I live a long ways away from you guys, but something came up very interesting, and one of you stepped up and sent me a car to restore. Stick around. Alright, here's what I got here now. I got a 1970 Vista Cruiser wagon. This car is owned by Ben Skeleton from Charlotte, South Carolina originally. Okay, this car has come a long way. The whole concept behind this has been in the works now for over a year. Ben has been around since the beginning. When I think I was 1,000 subscribers, Ben was in there and he was sending me messages and we were chatting back and forth, and he was telling me all about the car and what he was trying to get done to it and everything. Now Ben's a young married man with 2 young kids, a career on the go in the American Air Force. He's in the Air Force now 17 years. He's a chaplain. He's a busy man, and he just decided instead of him trying to do the work, he'd send me the car. Now, it was a bit far-fetched at first because where I live is a good ways away. The cars were shipped from Sumter, South Carolina, and had to go through Toronto in Canada and then make their way east to Newfoundland. Now that's a long haul. For some reason, everything that gets shipped to Newfoundland has to go to Toronto first. It's a shorter distance from South Carolina to Newfoundland if you come right up the coast through Maine and that way. But for some reason, anytime something gets shipped here, it has to go to Toronto. Now the distance that was taken from Toronto to here was, what was that? Was like over 4,200 kilometers, which is about 2,600 miles, okay? That's how far this car was taken to get here. December 22nd, the cars were loaded up down in Somerton, and they were en route, went to Toronto, and they were held over in Toronto for a while, and about February the 8th, or the 8th, February the 10th, they left from Toronto to make their way to me, and I received the cars February 13th. You know, you're talking, that was almost a month of travel time between them cars. Now, Ben is quite interesting. Ben got a hold of me about this like over a year ago. Started out, he was just a, you know, a subscriber that was like, you know, liking my channel, looking for help with his project and everything. And as you know, I try to help everybody as much as I can to at their projects and whatnot. So we contacted, talking back and forth one hour, and then he wanted to talk to me one day and told me that he wanted to ship this car to me. Now, a few people have approached me on this already, but because of the distance, there's a bit of an issue because of the timeline it gets up here. But he looked into it and he figured it was feasible for him to ship this car here to me. We got the ball rolling on it. We talked about it. I told him there'd be no hard feelings or nothing if, you know, he backed out at any time, figured it was just too costly for him or whatnot. But no, he went ahead and got the car all ready, got shipping quotes, the whole 9 yards, what it was going to cost to getting up her. I won't be getting a dollar value on this. You know, this is between me and Ben. We know what it costs for different things. This build is going to be all about the repairs on the vehicle, getting the car done, and the whole point of finishing the car here in Newfoundland that come from South Carolina. I haven't done any restorations now in a while, complete restorations all over. As you can tell by my videos, I do little patch repairs here and there, repair a fender, door, cab, that type of thing. I've preferred that, I kept it that way, but this is an opportunity that came along, and I said to myself, it'd be quite interesting to have a car shipped to you from South Carolina, you restore it, paint it, finish it, and then send it back. I had no intentions of ever like taking on full restorations anymore, but you know, a few people have contacted me and asked me about doing their cars, and it was always the same concept, where I live to and all that type of stuff. It was a great honor for someone to actually ask me that, but for an opportunity like this to come along, it was amazing. Ben sending this car up here to me now for me to take it and to restore it for him. I'll be doing body work, paint, the whole 9 yards on this, so I'll be covering all that. Basically much the same as I've been doing Wendy's Mustang. Doing this from start to finish. We've talked some bit about doing an LS swap on it. We're going to leave that alone for now. I don't know how his budget is, because I would like to get the car all done and painted, or pretty well ready for paint, and then we could sit down and rehash it up. The issues with the car, if you notice now, I'm going to show you a couple of things. There is a parts car that came with this, so he never sent just one car, he sent two. The parts car is another story in itself, but there's a number of pieces that I'm going to need off the parts car for this one. So like we have a plan for a hood, so I'm going to be building a custom made hood for this car, like the 442s. He looked into buying one, tried to search for one. They're extremely expensive. I figured it'd be a nice challenge and make a nice video to build a hood on it. So the first video I'm going to be doing on this car is going to be on the hood. The car has some rust on the outside, down low on the passenger side. I've after going over the car, and I've after finding two doors are bad on it, one fender's bad on it, one quarter panel, It has some damage and everything on it. But like floor pans, all that type of stuff, all that seems good except for the very back end of it. There's a tail panel, a floor pan that goes underneath the back of it, because this here got the she's an eye pasture wagon, and it got this compartment there, and that got rusted in, so I got to build that panel. If you remember, if you go back through a few of my videos, Ben sent me a bead roller, and that was the reason for that bead roller, was to do that rear pan on the back of this here to build it. Like I do have a bead roller, but I'd like to have the smaller bead and a step die. So it was nice for Ben to send me that, which is great. Like Ben's been good to me right from the get-go. He's been saying good things. He's been sharing my content whenever he can. It's amazing, like, you know, how much he's stepped forward to want to do a project like this. The car itself, I'm planning on taking it, doing all the metal work on it, getting it all drivable. Now, is a good driver now, and painting the car. He has a color picked out for it. The color he got picked out for is Nordic blue. It's a Oldsmobile color, I'm pretty sure. Is it an Oldsmobile color? I can't see nothing without my glasses. Yeah, 72 Oldsmobile color. He has a color scheme picked out. I got a picture I'm going to put right here of the type of wagon that the idea he got in his mind to do with the car. Where did the car come from? Ben was telling me the car is a California car. He bought it in California back in 2016, so he's got the car a while. I'm pretty sure Ben got this car through friends of his, members of the Southern California Oldsmobile Club. Ben's a member of them, and them guys have been great help for him for getting information, and like we're trying to build this hood. So a few of them have stepped forward and give us measurements on their hoods and everything, so it's going to be quite interesting to see. So thanks to them guys there. She got some issues. We're going to work on getting the bumpers straight away. I had to pull a lot of the roof glass and everything out of this here, in around of because these got a bubble roof on them, and there's some issues around the window that leaked. So I'm going to have all the glass hauled out of the car. I'm going to be taking all the panels off the doors. I don't think I'm going to take it off chassis. I'm trying to, you know, all that is time consuming, and the more time I put into it, the more it's going to be costly. So I'm going to concentrate on getting the car. He has a lot of work done to this car already. The suspension, he has a transmission rebuilt in it. He's got tubular control arms, disc brakes on the front of it. All that's been done on this car. He wants to build it so that he could, you know, take his family and go for drives. It's a great family rig. Him and his wife and his two sons can hop in it and go. Right? Let's have a walk about this car now and look at what we're into to restoring this car. One of the big things we're into is this hood. Okay, the hood is just a plain Jane hood. We're going to put I'm going to build a 442 hood for it. I'll put pictures here explaining it. I'm going to actually make a steel one for it. A lot of these were fiberglass over steel, and some were steel. They are an extremely expensive hood to buy. I think it's going to be a fun challenge. Ben has sent me a whole bunch of pictures of dimensions, and friends and people off the 442 site, the wagon site and everything, have given him pictures and everything of all the measurements on the hood. So thanks to a lot of them guys for doing that for us. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing with it. The paint on the car looks to be pretty well original. Fender and that was replaced on it. There's not a lot of paint on it, so I can actually see what's been done to it. Of course, all that's going to be stripped off it. This driver's front fender, looks to be in good shape. The bottom is bad from here down, so I know I'm going to be getting into doing work on it there. The door itself, it's driver's door. It's good, per se. Got a bit of surface rust on the bottom corners. There's nothing too serious on it. All these moldings will be coming off and discarded. He's not putting them moldings back on it again. He wants to keep the original wheel opening moldings, I'm pretty sure. So I got to weld up all the holes that are put in there. As you can see, people ruined it and what they had done. Put it on with screws. But that's basically it. This back door is the same thing. There might be a small bit of work down here on the dog leg. I'm not quite sure. Yes, there will be. So someone has asked about doing dog leg work. So oh, hang on now. Yeah, there's my little for making dog legs. Someone asked me about making them. That's going to be a good video. And the inside the doors of this one here are pretty good. It's all good. Clean up. I'm going to be concentrating on doing metal work and getting this car to primer. It's going to be here. I'm taking it in out of the shop because it's a big car to have around. So I'll be taking it in, doing so much work on it, and putting it back in storage and whatnot. This lower quarter here, I'm pretty sure is good. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Small, smack, and whatever in it. But here's one of the issues we got. All the moldings were glued onto it. And these were known for leaking, these windows. So I'm going to have to get all this glass removed out of it. Get all this chrome off it. And the other parts car got a better window in it than this one here. Because you can see this one here is going white on the glass. This is a very cool feature on these cars. I always liked it. To me, it's one of the coolest wagons ever built. Because it had the glass roof. And, you know, it's when you get inside the car and you look up and you can see the light. Very, very nice feature. Okay. Beautiful car. Door, like I said, doors closed, nice and everything. Back here now, Ben was telling me that this car was rear-ended. Had a smack in it. This here, I think he said was a Chevelle. Quite possibly, I'm not quite sure. But it's a hatch off a different one that we're going to have to do work on. It's not fitting properly, so that you can see there's some damage here that I'm going to have to repair and fix up the body seams here. Close that up there. So there's a bit of an issue there. And our body seam over here, you can see it sticks out a small bit. I'm a stickler for this stuff. I like having all this stuff fitting nice. And again, you can see the rust around the base of the window. I'm going to say there's holes there when I'm finished with it. Right? Going right along it. I get all that cleaned up right here, see? But this corner here took a fine smack. She got a lot of damage and repair on it, so I'm going to have to do repairs to that. And do work on that. Dog leg over here too. Oh, this dog leg looks good. Of course, it looks to be filler in the bottom of this door, so there's been a repaired on it. You can see there's body work here from previous, so there's probably damage here that I'm going to have to strip off. Again, removing the moldings. This one here is one of the doors. I'm going to put a bottom in it. I'm going to put a bottom in that door as well, as you can see. But what's amazing with these doors is that the inside is perfect. It's totally different than what I'm used to. Like usually if the bottom of the door is gone, here, there's nothing left on the inside. But this one here, the outer skin is bad, but the inner section is still good. And of course then we got this bottom of this fender that I got to repair, see? That's probably the worst spot on the whole car. And I'll be doing all the repairs on that. And of course, you can see around the windshield, she had her lead seams. She must have been baked out in the hot weather because all her lead has been lifted. You can see here's a lead seam there. And you come back here and you can see the lead seam here. Now what this is here, this is where the roof was joined on to the pillar. And down here there's another one. Now I'd say this here is different because of the different roofs that you can get on these, right? It's unusual for them to have a lead seam here and here. So this piece here was a separate section altogether from the quarter panel. So it was a different roof that went on the car with this pillar, which is quite interesting. Both sides are the same way for the lead seam. You can see it over here, the lead seam on the roof. So I end up probably taking all the lead out of that. And I won't be doing lead work again. That's not very healthy. This isn't by today's standards. Usually what I like to do is I weld pieces in here now, because when you take this is where they join to, where the spot welds were to on the panels. And what ends up happening, just about a 1/4 inch gap there. And this is what they did from factory, they fill them all with lead. What I done, I got a video done on I welds pieces in there, and then smooths it out so it's all metal again. So there actually is no lead in the car. Some fellas were stickler about lead. Oh, originally we got to put it back in the car, and that's the way it came factory. No. Our plan with this car is to make a nice, fun driver. Right? But, you know, she needs work. Her interior, he has plans for all that. Going to change all that, colors and whatnot, because the car is going blue. So he wants to put bucket seats in it, get them upholstered. He likes them better on the bench, but he still has the original bench seat for it. And interior and all that type of stuff. I don't know what his full plan is for that. But I got to concentrate on the outside for now. Here you can actually see the bottom side, the spot I was talking about. You can see right here how bad it is. So, and this panel is very hard to come by. It's not an easy one to get, so I got to make the repair panels for this. That's the reason behind the bead roller. Got a bit of damage out here. Nothing serious. And tailpipe separating a few times. Yeah, she's a good car underneath. Right. Other than that, but this is pretty well the worst panel on the car. And all the floors, all that is really good in the car. All the suspension points, all that is, you know, in really good shape. So I think I pretty well covered everything that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get started on this one soon. I wanted to introduce you to the car and fill you in the story, the backstory, what our plans are with it. So before I get started on it, you'll be seeing lots of videos on this car coming up. I'm going to start off doing the hood first, get that done. So I'm going to be removing the hood off of this car and putting the car back in storage and just keeping the hood here, so I can do the work on it that way. And that way I haven't got to worry about having the whole car here. I think that's pretty well it. Any questions? Or, you know, you want to talk about it? And it'd be nice if we could find, because the other car, we're taking the glass out of one. I was wondering how many of these are left around. These roofs. Be nice to find the glass. Right? To have spares. They're always good to have. A lot of them got cut off and put on the roofs of vans. Back in the 70s. But yeah, okay. So I'm going to leave this one here. And we're going to go ahead now and get started on this. So next time you see anything with this car, we're going to be cutting and welding on it. Anyway, there's not much in the way of tips in this one here. But anyway, until next time. Car. Oops.